Ooh, now, yeah, Babbzy, blow your nose and not your mind. I know that you are not blind, so please make up your mind. Why are if a man black wrong and you black it too? How she always be watching you and the little thing that you do. How why Babbzy, blow your nose and not your mind? Cause we are living in a tedious time. Mankind, don't you tell no lie. Why blow your nose and not your mind? Cause we are living in a tedious time. Babbzy not telling no lie. Why righteous man? Babbzy wanting the stand. Yet a righteous man is so hard to find. So I wonder who's gonna stop this war and crimes. Oh yeah, there are some people can't do things on their own. Yes, they have to wait till Babbzy come out. Yes, you have to learn.
What's up, everybody? Babbzy here in the building, just setting up to give you guys Caribbean News Weekly. Let me apologize from now for saying there was no Dear Babbzy this week. You know, as you guys know, I've been undergoing some treatments for a few things, and this week was entirely brutal. Like brutal. Trust me. I'm surprised I survived. Like, it was that bad. Yesterday I stepped out for a minute and then it was like boom, back down in the ditch, I should say. So we're gonna be doing a Dear Babbzy on Wednesday to replace the Dear Babbzy that we missed Friday. So I'm gonna be having a Dear Babbzy on Wednesday and Friday this week. So, you know, make sure you guys have notifications turned on because yeah, you don't know. So just making sure, sound check, any echoing. Say no echoing if there's no echoing. Say yes, there's echoing if there is echoing. Because I just did a check and it doesn't look like there's any. So we should be good to go. Let us set up to start. Let's see. What should we start today? Actually, let's see where everybody is today. Leave a comment in the chat and let me know what island you're representing. Drop your flag below, as well as share this post because we're a little bit earlier today. I wanted to be doing this for 6 p.m. on Sundays because, you know, we have a lot of followers in the UK, in Sweden, Germany, these places who are very upset with I, Babbzy Rastafari, because literally they never get to catch a live that I do ever. So I wanted to kind of try to look at some segments that I can do a bit earlier so that UK people can join in, because a lot of them have been saying that they feel like they're left out. And, you know, the UK does make up the third largest demographic for me right now. So we got to kind of consider them as well, because you know how that goes already. So let's start with the situation that's going on in Trinidad. As you know, heavy rains were falling in Trinidad over the past 2 days, and there has been extensive flooding. I have a list of shelters that are open right now due to the flooding in Trinidad, and you can go there and basically, you know, get rescue from what's going on. It looks really, really bad. People are actually out on boats in Trinidad trying to pick up people, etc. I was thinking about doing a collection, but I don't know what you guys think. So if you could comment below and say, yes, collection. Yes, Babbzy, do a collection for Trinidad. We will, you know, these collection things kind of, you know how that goes. People will be like, Babbzy's on here begging for money. And so I don't really do collections anymore. I stopped doing them for a long time. But this is a very extenuating circumstance. So I feel like, you know, I can deal with the ignorant backlash a bit if it's going to be a situation where we're going to save a lot of people. So if you think that we should do a collection for this situation, let me know, and I'll create something, because we do have team Babbzy on the ground in Trinidad. We've got, Raleigh Rawl, we've got Warren Civic, we've got Adana, we've got Amit. There's people that are really in tune with Team Babbzy who are down there right now and would be able to distribute the funds correctly and allocate them correctly, etc. I mean, if you've been following me for any period of time, like whenever we do collection, it does go to the person. They do get all of the money. I don't take out fees. I don't take out, we just get in and help and do what we got to do. So let me know what you guys think, because I don't know what to say, but there's been a lot of people having to be rescued by boat. The defense force is in, and the list of shelters, honestly, I didn't know Trinidad had so much funny name places that I can't pronounce. So in Tunapuna, man, I can't pronounce La Horecada. Maybe I should just show it. That might make more sense to just show, like, if you guys can, I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these names. These names are Sangre Grande, Mayero Civic Center, Madras Government School, Las Lomas Government Primary School, in Penal Debe, I don't know how these things are pronounced. I'm sorry, I don't know a lot of these areas. Clark Rochard Government Primary School and Woodland Hindu School. So the first one is La Horequeta. I think that's how you say it. I honestly do not know. Don't know how to pronounce that. So there are shelters in Trinidad. If you know anybody that needs assistance, let me know. And again, if we want to do a collection for Trinidad, let me know. We can start that as well. On Saturday, October 20th, it's reported that a 4.2 magnitude earthquake was felt in Barbados, Trinidad, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. So it's weird that a lot of earthquakes are happening in the Caribbean lately. Based on geography that I did take 500 years ago, I know that, that's not really a region for earthquakes. It's more of a region for, volcanic activity. So, it's serious, because Haiti had an earthquake on October the 6th, and 18 people were killed and 500 people were injured. In case anybody wanted to know what happened with the Haiti earthquake, that's been, the update. So 18 people killed and over 5,000 people injured. So I don't know if you guys had heard a story about a Trinidadian fella that tried to steal an American Airlines plane. What's going on with these people? The Trinidad aviation student who tried to steal an American Airlines plane at an airport in Florida last month is to be deported to the land of birth. He will be barred from entering the United States ever again under a plea deal he reached with prosecutors. Nishal Sankat, the 22-year-old aviation management student at Florida Institute of Technology and son of former principal of the St. Augustine campus of the University of West Indies, Professor Clement Sankat, yesterday pleaded guilty to the charge of burglary of a conveyance. Prosecutors dropped charges of trespassing and grand theft. He was sentenced to serve time at the Brevard County Jail, 12 days, where he had been on suicide watch, and ordered to pay US $909 to cover the cost of the Melbourne Airport Police Department investigation into the incident. Wow. So it says that he has mental issues, and is suffering from depression. He aborted the American Airlines jet on September 20th. And then, wow, he was left idling outside the airport. Wait, so hold on. Was he in the plane or not in the plane? Oh, it looks like he left Trinidad on the 20th of September. So then he was at the airport and boarded a plane that was parked for maintenance. He was confronted by a maintenance supervisor and a technician and was subsequently arrested. The incident triggered an airport security lockdown which lasted 5 hours. Yo, he got off easy. 12 days in jail and basically $1,000 in fines for trying out what? I don't know, man. Mental illness is prevalent in the I don't know. I think in the Caribbean we laugh at a lot of people who are mentally ill, and we don't take it serious, and we don't treat these people like they can actually do something crazy. But depression and mental illness is real. It's real out here. Yeah. A lot of crazy stories going on. Indian national hangs Guyanese lover in Antigua, kills themselves, and then the woman's 3-year-old son was found dehydrated nearby. Antigua is rocked by an apparent murder-suicide involving a Guyanese mother. Shocked relatives in Guyana confirmed her death yesterday. That the businesswoman from Kitty sells hair products in a wholesale quantity in Antigua, where she'd been living for several years. Several of her relatives also live in Antigua. It is expected that she will be laid to rest in Antigua. Her 3-year-old son, who fortunately was not harmed, but was found dehydrated in the same building where the murder-suicide took place. According to reports in the Antigua Observer, local police on the island are probing what appears to be a murder-suicide following the discovery of the bodies of 2 adults who had reportedly not been seen or heard from relatives since Tuesday. A tearful relative of one of the deceased told the Observer that the police confirmed that the female deceased is Latoya Craig of Clare Hall, and the male is a deceased man whom she once shared a relationship with. The family identified the man as Bharat Kumar, said to be an Indian national. You know, honestly, it's weird to me how almost every single day, doesn't matter the island in the Caribbean, there is some form of murder, suicide, relationship, domestic violence kind of saga thing going on. I don't know what it is with these males nowadays that have them this unstable. There is something wrong, and it's like, you know, it's tough to have these conversations because everybody thinks they're the most, you know, perfect parent. They think that, you know, they can't improve on anything. And it's like, there's something wrong with a lot of these males in the Caribbean, man. It's like they are, you know, people are going to be like, there's crime and violence everywhere, but you're not seeing the number of, you know, domestic related murder suicides in Canada the way you're seeing them in the Caribbean. Like, you're just not seeing these stories in the news. Let's say they're not happening, right? Because that's what people will try to say. Oh, Canada's not reporting them, and Canada's this, and Canada's that. You know, Canada has 646 murders last year. You know what I'm saying? That's relatively low based on a nation of 37 million people, and based on a nation that's the second largest nation besides Russia, land mass wise in the world, and there's just not a lot of these suicide murders. So what is going on socially that a lot of these men are jumping up and killing themselves and killing women that they're no longer in a relationship with or can't be in a relationship with? This seems odd to me. Like, I'm seeing an influx of this happening in Jamaica, you know, and I'm saying this in a way so that people don't get offended. This happened in Trinidad and Guyana. a little bit more, but it's more predominant with the Indian population, right? And seeing that this man is from India, that kind of goes along with that theme. I don't know what it is because it's not such thing as Indian culture, because if you are in Trinidad and you're Indian, you're Trinidadian, right? If you're in Guyana and you're Indian, you're Guyanese. So I don't know what it is that's among like the Indian population that results in these kinds of situations happening more, but I don't even know how to give advice on this kind of stuff anymore, because it's just so weird to me that somebody would kill themselves and kill somebody because they don't want to be in a relationship with them. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go over to news in Jamaica. There was a missing girl. I got the missing girl report. A 14-year-old girl was reported missing since Friday, October the 19th. She was found dead this morning on Sunday, October 21st. The deceased has been identified as Raven Wilson of Top Road, St. Anne's. Reports from the St. Anne's Bay Police are that about 6:30 this morning, residents discovered her body and summoned them. Upon the arrival of the lawmen, Raven's body was seen in a garbage bag with a wound to the face. This scene was processed and it was removed to the morgue pending post-mortem examination. Again, over in Jamaica, there seems to be a lot of crimes against children. This is not normal. It's not normal to attack, a 14-year-old and kill them. This is the second 14-year-old that's been killed in Jamaica in recent weeks. Another one was raped, dismembered, and burnt about 2 months ago. And I don't think a woman committed this crime. Like, can we be safe to say that this was probably committed at the hands of a man? So it's like, what is the problem? What is the problem? Why are males in society killing children, killing women, killing their lovers? What is the problem? I don't know. Like, okay, I'll break this down. I'll try to break it down quickly. In my 9-to-5 job, I'm a business analyst, but as a business analyst, senior business analyst in IT, I specialize in process improvements and process re-engineering. So a lot of the time the company might be having a problem with a certain process and they'll be like, we need help improving this. So they'll bring me in and I'll be like, okay, here's where there's a gap. Here's where there's a problem. Here's what you need to change. Here's where you're losing, a lot of time because this process is taking too much time, whatever. So I have to holistically look at problems from the start to the finish. And even the parts that are working well might end up being a problem upon investigation. I look at Caribbean society and it's like, in the Caribbean, you are socialized one of 3.5 ways, right? You are socialized at home. So 95% of a child is time is going to be spent in their home, right? You don't come out of the womb as this angry, belligerent, emotionally unstable person, right? That is like a 0.00001% of populations might come out like a Jeffrey Dahmer or somebody that might have been born with a mental condition. But most of the people in the Caribbean that are committing crimes have been socialized that way. And nobody's willing to accept that. Everybody wants to point the fingers and say it's, Andrew Holness and it's, Keith Rowley. And it's like, the prime minister of a nation is not responsible for how a nation is socialized. Prime minister of a nation is responsible for the governance, the economics, these things. Now let's go back. So you're a child, you're born, you're happy, you're loving, you spend 95% of your time in your home with your family. So that's where you pretty much pick up your manners, your social skills. Those things come from home. You then go on to school, right? So, when I'm seeing clips of a 5-year-old being like, "Dirty girl, go bed your pussy, I'm the bed," and like, that kid was not born like that. that kid is picking that up from somewhere. And wherever that kid is picking that up from is a major fail in society. It is a major fail for the parents, right? And this is the conversation that the Caribbean needs to have. The Caribbean needs to have this conversation deeply, and they just can't have it because it's like this denial phase that everybody seems to be in. But a kid can only pick up things from home, from school, from the community, and 0.5% from church, because not all children go to church. So where is this coming from? This is either coming from your home, your community, or from school. I don't know if children are being socialized to kill their lovers at school. I don't see where that would be in the curriculum, right? So we have to rule that out. So it's either coming from your home or it's coming from the community. Now, either which way, that falls back onto the parent. If your community is breeding people that want to push the narrative to kill your woman if she cheats on you, or kill somebody's child if you ask them for sex and they don't give you none, it's up to the parent to combat that narrative. You know what I mean? Like I told you guys, when I was a kid, I saw this drug dealer outside Cut Creator when my brother was getting his haircut. And I was like, I need this car. How do you get this car? Because he had the 1993 Nissan Maxima, rims out, pearl white. You know what I mean? I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, get rid of school, because school ain't gonna get you a ride like this. You know, come on the block with me. You know, even if you want to go to school, I can get you this money if you come and run some of these, drugs in the school for me. And he was explaining to me how to basically become one of the first, adolescent drug dealers. And he was explaining this to me thoroughly. I would have been about 12, right? I came home and I told my dad I'm going to leave school because I want to deal drugs, because so-and-so, he's dead by the way right now, so-and-so said to me, this is how I got to get the drugs and this is what I got to do and whatever. Now, majority of you would have beat your kid for coming home and saying something like that, right? You would have been like, yo, you talking stupid, and bust their ass and put a plan ants on them, or slam your cutlass in their head and send them to their room, right? And this is what I'm trying to say. Is my dad sat me down and explained to me why drug dealing doesn't make sense, and why this man is telling me this, and why he's preying on me, and why he thinks that, I would be a good person because, in the juvenile courts, if I get caught with drugs, this is what's going to happen to me. I won't go to jail as long, but the record's going to follow me. Like, my dad sat down and thoroughly explained to me why drug dealing doesn't make sense. Where in a lot of your homes, you would just beat your kid for asking you that, right? You would just slap them in their face and say, what kind of stupidness you talking about? And that's what I'm talking about. There's no knowledge transfer at home. At home, it's just, beatings. And I see it on my page every day. You see a kid getting licks in the road and you're like, I got it, and look how I turned out, and blah, blah, blah. But if you really check how you turned out, you're overly emotional. You have trust issues. You have issues about progress and believing in yourself. If your mother and father are slamming you on the ground and saying that you're never going to be nothing in life, there's no way that is not going to negatively impact you at some point in your life. And you make excuses for licks. It's like, oh, I got this, and oh, you know what I mean? Like, just because you don't beat your children doesn't mean you're not disciplining them. And this is what I'm saying. These are the outcries in our society now of people that are being beaten. They're not being taught anything. They're not being influenced positively in any way, shape, or form. They're just being beaten for an idea or a suggestion or a comment or for doing something wrong. And you don't learn that way. You become angry and afraid, and you second guess yourself, and you become less determined because you feel like everything you're gonna do is wrong. And I just say this to say, like, think about the next time you're going to beat the shit out of your kid, why you're doing this, and think about having a conversation with them about what's going on. And I'll bet you if you ask questions and start working on conflict resolution and strengthening your interpersonal skills, you're going to see the difference. The Caribbean is a society right now where conflict resolution is at an all-time low. So someone says something to you you don't like, you pick up a gun. Someone says something to you that you don't appreciate, you go and you stab them. You go and you badmind them. You go and call their job to try and get them to lose their job. You start doing all these evil things just because someone says something to you that you don't like, instead of trying to resolve that. And that's where I'm seeing things to be. There's a very strong break in the home in the Caribbean. These children can't love their mother and turn around and kill women and kill children. There's just no way. So why do these people not love their mother? Well, their mother had 45 baby fathers. Their mother's out trying to thief people husband. Their mother's doing all these things, and their mother's not parenting them. They leave a 4-year-old to figure out life on their own. And then when they do come and ask a question, they're beaten or they're punished, or this is not the way. And this is showing every single day in our society. This beating and cussing and gun this, and it's not working. It's just not working. When you see 14-year-olds going missing, it's like, what the hell is going on? Why is that happening? You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm sorry that I went a little bit off topic, but it's like, I try to offer insight, because a lot of people will say to me, you know, Babbzy, how did you get into this and how did you get into that and whatever? And it's like, a lot of where I am has to do with the type of parents I have. I never got licks growing up. I got punished growing up. And I don't know what it is that people just feel like, if you don't beat your kid, they're not being punished. I got punishment growing up. I just never got beaten growing up. And I don't know why people feel like if you're not slamming your kid's head in the ground, you're not, like, spare the rod and spoil the child. And it's like, okay, so if you want to slam your kid's head in the wall, go ahead. I don't know. I just got to make sure that I have a gun and I protect myself. And you know, and at the time that I started this video, there's 2 boys that have been missing in Jamaica since Friday, October the 19th. Carlos and I can't say the name, Amorior Cyrus. They look like they are brothers. So let me show you their picture, because they are missing in Jamaica. Yeah, so they've been missing since Friday. Not sure what's going on there, but you know, hope that you know, they do have a safe return. And another story that's been really running big over the past couple of days, and everybody was asking me to talk about it. Norman Manley International Airport in Jamaica is now being run by a Mexican entity. So it looks as though, you know, for about $2 billion, right? This Mexican company pretty much now owns Norman Manley International Airport. It's going to take charge of running the facility for the next 25 years. They're doing a modernization program. It's going to cost over $110 million. Additionally, the government will receive a guaranteed percentage of the airport's gross revenues. The entity has the option to extend the arrangements by an additional 5 years. A lot of Jamaican people are very upset by this, that Mexican entity would own their international airport. I know that there's also, they're upset that Chinese people are owning a lot of companies in Jamaica as well. You know, part of this again is the, you know, loss of how do I say it? What's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the intellectually sound, intelligent, gifted, progressive Jamaicans are looking to leave Jamaica or have left Jamaica. You know, the richest black man in Canada, Michael Lee Chin, is a Jamaican, right? He could have invested in the airport, but he didn't. There's just, it seems to be lately, and I watch this online all the time, there's this very big disconnect with the people in Jamaica, some of them, versus the international Jamaicans, some of them. And the relationship is very strained. And it's very obvious. I see this going on with a lot of vloggers that are Jamaican as well. A lot of the time they, you know, will do 100% news vlogging where they're dedicated to talking about current events in Jamaica. You know, there's a very popular one, Teach Them. That's his name on YouTube. Teach Them is a Jamaican vlogger who pretty much will give you the daily news the same way, you know, CNN would. And then there's SoFlo Entertainment, that SoFlo TV, and he lives in America. Teach Them lives in Jamaica, and SoFlo lives in America. And I see this difference in how Teach Them is embraced and as seen as, you know, an instructor and an educator, and he's so respected. And then I see SoFlo, who is saying the same stories as Teach Them, literally ripped to shreds on a daily basis, told to stay the fuck out of Jamaica people business and go blog about what's happening in America and da 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 da. So it's like there's a very strained relationship. And I think that Mexico and China and these people can see this, and they're capitalizing on that. So the only people that you can really point the finger at is yourselves, because you're not coming together as a nation to save your nation. You're fighting each other so much, and this person is a non-national, so fuck them. They can't say this and this and that and whatever. These Mexicans and these Chinese gonna come in with their money and grab up the shit. Like, that's just how, you know, shit is. You know what I mean? Like, when people are losing everything, there's people that are gonna come in and basically capitalize on that. Like, the house that I live in is based off of somebody's loss. This house was foreclosed on somebody. They only like, this house was brand new, pretty much. It was 9 months old when we moved into it, and the person that bought the home from the builder couldn't pay the builder and couldn't pay all their fees, and they got basically evicted, and the house was foreclosed on. And we came in and got it at a very, very low price. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So it's kind of just like, okay, you slip in here, well, I'm gonna grab this from you. And that's what is happening in Jamaica. You know, the killings, the violence, the constant fighting, you know, the division, politically is so, like, my God, I've never seen politics like this in the, like, I'm talking about the Caribbean, to the point where people will kill people for an opposing political view. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't thrive as a nation like that. You're fighting yourselves down to the basic denominators. So if it's like, okay, you live over that side of the fence and you on this side of the fence, well, we don't want you and we don't want you and we cutting down and we cutting down. If you make your group 2 people, you will never be able to stand up against an entire nation of Mexico. And your posse's 2 people, 3 people. You have to unite and come together. There's no other way to save Jamaica but uniting. You have to absolutely have to unite and come together. You just have to. You know what I mean? There's no other way that you will prosper as a nation. And I see it getting worse. I see it getting worse because I don't see anybody with the ability to influence the people. You know, the artists that can influence people are pushing segregation. Oh, if you like me, you can't like Taga Taga Rankin. So even the artists are abusing their power, and you cannot win if you don't come together. That's the only advice I have for you guys. So, there you have it, guys. I hope the 2 boys are found in Jamaica unharmed. Let's pray for their safe return, as well as, you know, in Trinidad, the whole flooding situation. I might start a collection for them. As I said, it's easier internationally to collect money, because when you have to send clothing and, you know, food items and stuff, they will charge you duty in Trinidad unless you're sending it in as part of a charity. And if you're sending it in as part of a charity, charities do take money from donations, and they do take a large part of what you're sending in. So that's why I never wanted to do my Dear Babbzy thing as a charity, because I like, people were like, if you register it, then you can send barrels to Barbados and barrels to Trinidad and barrels wherever. But then it gets all kind of, you know, mucky with the money that's collected and stuff like that. I was just always like, look, man, this is happening right now. Send me what you can. I'm going there and I'm going to give it. Enough times we've sent thousands of dollars. Enough times we've done food drives in Barbados. You know, Wayne Hoyt, he basically allowed me to use his workplace as a depot. You know, when we had some families, when Barbados was going through a really rough time, Christmas, and they're like, Babbzy, we don't have nothing. We have no food this Christmas. What's gonna happen? What are we gonna do? And it was just like, yo, all right, Team Babbzy, let's go. People, drop this off in Pinfold Street. Wayne's gonna collect it. And he was like, yo, I don't even have enough space for this food. And we was just collecting food and dropping it off. And people were literally coming by. Some people were dropping, you know, 2 tins of corned beef and 2 tins of sardines. And they're like, that's all I could afford. But yo, hold that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Christmas time come, and it's like, yo, everybody's getting food, and at least people have something to eat. You know what I mean? Because that's horrible to have no food to eat and stuff. But I stopped doing that because people were saying that I'm collecting money to buy fake hair and to buy this and to buy that. And that's the problem, man. We can't help because the negativity is so much. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there are fraudulent people out here, but I've been out here long enough for people to know I don't need your money. You know what I'm saying? You know, like vloggers are fighting over Google AdSense money. I don't talk about this stuff because I don't need this stuff. You know what I mean? I've always done what I've done because I truly care. I want to help. I want to make sure this person's good, because I don't know what it feels like to go days with no food to eat. But then when people are going to come at me and be like, well, you know, you collecting money because you poor and you go look a job, and like, yo, I'm not Amari or Gully Bop or one of these people, eh? You know what I'm saying? Like, not all of us are out here vlogging, begging for money to pay a bill and shit. Like, I'm good. I do this because I care about my people. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people in Canada who are Caribbean and they'll never look back home. I know a lot of people who are in my shoes who would have just went down the American road and vlogged the American way and not give 2 shits about back home. I've always cared about the Caribbean because a lot of my family lives there. People will be like, why do you care about Jamaica? Why are you always involved? Do you know how much of my family lives in Jamaica? I got family that lives in Clarendon. I got family that run businesses in Jamaica that are Babs. That, like, I got cousins down there that have to call my father uncle because their mom and their dad is my dad's brother or sister. Like, I have really close family in Jamaica. I have friends in Jamaica. I have friends in Trinidad. I don't want to know that Raleigh Rawls' house is flooded, Warren Civic's house is flooded, Adana's house is flooded. So that's why I care. So when people are like, why are you getting involved? I'm getting involved because it could be me tomorrow that's house is flooded. And I'm going to have to rely on you fucking disrespectful ass motherfuckers to help me. So we got to get on the same wavelength mentally to understand that we have to help each other. And we're not there. Everything is like, well, I don't know. I'm not helping. I'm the, you know what I mean? The other day, that 11-year-old girl turns up pregnant in Jamaica. And people were like, well, it could be other 3 men that was sleeping with her. All men are adults. How was an 11-year-old having men rape her? Because that's what that is. That's rape. Statutory rape. And the whole community knows, and you're just looking back like, well, she's fast. I don't know. A long time she have fling with pussy. What? An 11-year-old cannot sleep with a 40-year-old man. That is rape. What are you talking about? She's fast. She cannot be fast. She does not have the capacity to be fast. What are you talking about? And when you start to try to educate people, they get mad at you. They're upset. It's like, look, man, I don't know it all. I can't even pronounce some of these areas in Trinidad. Someone's going to have to teach me how to pronounce those words. I learn every single day. I learn things every single day. Doesn't make you dumb or doesn't make you dunce because you don't know certain things. It makes you dumb or dunce when you don't want to learn. The fact that you don't know is not the dunce part. It's the fact that you don't want to learn to improve yourself is what actually makes you dunce. Your reaction to horrific crimes is what makes you dunce. Not the fact that you are dunce. The fact that you're dunce and you're okay to be dunce is what makes you dunce. You understand what I'm saying? Anyhow, I won't prolong everything too long today because, I just want to give a rundown on a lot of the news that's been going on in the Caribbean. Next week, I'll be starting at 6 p.m. so that my English fans can get a break because they've been missing me. You probably see some of them in the comments saying that they ain't seen me for a while. Let's see who's on YouTube. Voice of Reasoning. Big up yourself. Kim Welsh. Capadon. I think you're like my #1 fan right now. I think I'm gonna have to send you a Babbzy shirt. Cashmatic. Sheila 2K5. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Sorry. Victorious Empress. Junior Dirt. Big up yourself. You know what I mean? Crystal. What's up? So that's over in the YouTube, bro. Let's see who's over here in Facebook. We got Abby, Leecha. Hi, Leecha. Love you. Stargate. Big up yourself. Katie Ann, Rosanna, Ja Powers. Ja Powers is my godfather. Okay. Chloe, Halsey, Rosanna, Tara. Big up you guys self. So yeah, yo, man. The biggest thing to save us out here is knowledge, man. Learning, understanding, conflict resolution, strengthening your interpersonal skills, learning to apologize. Yo, I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. You know what I mean? Ja Powers, I hurt your feelings. Sorry, fam. I love you. You're my bro. Let's work this out. What do you need from me to resolve this? Instead of suck your mother, dog. Fuck you, man. I care. That is all I see every single day. Yo, man, I didn't mean to do that, man. Yo, I said this. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. That's not what I said. Fuck you. Shut the fuck up. Don't come and say what the fuck you think that. Like, yo, it's not a problem to be like, yo, my bad. I bumped into you. Sorry, fam. Yo, what are you drinking? You bring a next Hennessy for this man. I just banged into him and spilled his drink. Sorry, bro. I didn't mean to do that. You know what I mean? Oh, this is your parking spot? Sorry. Like, let's just be nice again. You know what I mean? Like, let's get back to that. Yo, my bad. I apologize. Yo, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Ja Powers, I love you. You're my people. Let's talk this week. Link me. Let's talk on the phone. Let's not type on Facebook because I haven't talked to you in a while and you're my friend. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with showing appreciation, love, consideration for other people, man? Come on, man. We were never like this. I remember times in the Caribbean when I ain't had no ride home from Spitestown, man. Dude come by with his truck open back and we all sitting in it and he's just dropping us off at Portland and Indian Ground and Diamond Corner. And it's like, you know what I mean? Now people can't even stop because they're afraid to get robbed. They're afraid to drop you home because people might rob them. You know what I'm saying? I remember so many things where, you know, people pass down and give my grandfather this and then my grandfather give him some mangoes and, you know, bring this and, you know, golden apple, June plums. And like, we don't live like that no more. I can't even eat food from people no more because I'm afraid they're trying to poison me and kill me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just turned into some angry ass people, yo. We were never like that. You know what I mean? We were never this way. And I'm just watching, you know, Trinidad, there's a flood and other Trinidadians are like, well, the flood ain't by me, so I ain't care. Like, it could be by you tomorrow and then what? It could be your 11-year-old people climbing through the window and raping every day. Then what? Why are you acting like you're immune when it's right in front of you? That it could be you next. Why are you acting like it ain't gonna be you? Chances are it will be you. You know what I mean? So, all right, guys. I'll be back this week, Wednesday, Dear Babbzy. I don't know what time I'm going to do it yet. Let's pick a time. Let's vote on a time, guys. Leave the time below that you think Eastern Standard Time that I should do Dear Babbzy. And on Friday. And then I'll be doing the Caribbean News Weekly again next week, Sunday. So big respect to everybody that came out today. I love you guys. Make sure you share this on your wall feeds. Let everybody know that this will be running 6 p.m. on Sundays. I know Teach Them does 6:30, so I wanted to kind of not be paralleling with him. I might move it to 5:30. I'll see how that goes, but big up everybody who's out here, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Oh, the Babbzy, I got a blender said that. Run things.
Bye, Dennis.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Babbzy, blow your nose. I'm not your mind. I know that you are not blind.
Portia said I owe you 5 stories. Portia, you owe me a Christmas gift.
Oh, the Babbzy, I got a blender said that. Run things. Yeah, Babbzy, blow your nose. I'm not your mind. I know that you are not blind. So